Down here, nothing is ever finished. Every shelf, every file, a question someone tried to answer and couldn't. This one is only 72 seconds long. It's also the closest we have ever come to proof that we are not alone, and nobody can tell you what it was. Every file in here is true. None of them have an ending. This is the wow signal. It begins, like most things that change everything, with a man, a stack of paper, and a word he didn't plan to write. What a telescope in rural Ohio recorded one August night in 1977 is, to this day, the single best candidate we have ever had for a message from another civilization. 30 times louder than the empty sky around it, sitting exactly where a deliberate signal should sit. And in nearly 50 years of listening, with better instruments every decade, we have never heard it again. Not once. Two camps have argued over this page ever since. The ones who think we caught something natural we don't yet understand, and the ones who think, for one summer night, we were not alone, and we weren't ready. To understand the page, you have to understand what they were doing out there. By the 1970s, a few astronomers had started taking a career-threatening question seriously. Are we alone? If another civilization wanted to be heard across the galaxy, where would they call? Most scientists agreed on one frequency, 1420 megahertz, the hum of hydrogen, the most common element in the universe. A frequency any species doing astronomy would know, a natural meeting point. So the telescope was pointed at the heavens and left to listen. It couldn't move quickly. It let the Earth's own rotation drag the sky across its view, printing whatever it heard onto endless reams of paper. And for years, it heard nothing. Just the soft static of a quiet universe. Every few days, a volunteer would collect the paper and check it by hand, looking for anything that stood out. Almost nothing ever did. Which is why, 3 days after the signal arrived, when one of them sat down at his kitchen table and started flipping through the latest stack, he was expecting nothing at all. The numbers weren't a sound you could hear. They were strength. How loud the signal was, moment to moment. One meant background noise. Most of the page was ones. And then his finger reached a column that read 6, E, Q, U, J, 5. To anyone else, gibberish. To him, a scream. Past 9, the telescope ran out of digits and switched to letters. E was 14. U was 30. Read in order, those 6 characters drew a shape. A signal that climbed out of the noise to more than 30 times the strength of the empty sky, held, and faded. A perfect arc. Exactly what you'd expect if a fixed point in space drifted slowly through the telescope's view as the Earth turned. It lasted 72 seconds, the exact time the telescope takes to sweep past a single stationary source. He circled it, and in the margin, almost without thinking, he wrote the word that would name it forever. Wow. But the shape wasn't the strangest part. The signal was narrow, impossibly narrow, almost a single frequency. Nature smears its energy across the spectrum. A signal this pure, sitting right on the one frequency we'd predicted. That is not what space is supposed to sound like. And when they traced where it came from, the direction pointed toward the constellation Sagittarius, toward the crowded heart of our galaxy. Hundreds of billions of stars. And somewhere in that direction, a handful of distant suns. When the team understood what they were looking at, the reaction wasn't celebration. It was caution close to fear. Because this signal checked every box on a list they'd written for one purpose: telling nature apart from a message. Right frequency, impossibly narrow. From far beyond our solar system. Matching no satellite, aircraft, or transmitter on the ground. Nothing on Earth, and nothing in the catalog of known cosmic objects, should have made it. For a few hours, a small group of people in Ohio held what looked, by every measure they had, like proof that someone else was out there. Then they did the only thing scientists can do. They turned the telescope back to that same patch of sky to hear it again. It wasn't there. They looked the next night, and the night after. They came back to that exact coordinate dozens of times over the following years. Same instrument, then far more sensitive ones. Some of the most powerful telescopes ever built have stared at that spot. In nearly 50 years, the sky there has stayed perfectly, completely silent. A signal that's strong, that's strange, that never repeats, is a nightmare. Because the rule is simple. If you can't reproduce it, you can't prove what it was. So for half a century, people have tried to explain it away. Every explanation has a hole. A secret military satellite? The frequency it sat on is internationally protected. Broadcasting there is effectively forbidden, precisely because astronomers are listening. A reflection off space debris? That couldn't hold a clean signal for 72 seconds. Decades later, one researcher proposed a passing comet, wrapped in a cloud of hydrogen, the very element that hums at 14.20 megahertz, had drifted through the view that night. For a moment, it sounded like an answer, but others tore it apart. Comets don't emit anywhere near that strength. The comets weren't confidently in the right place, and the telescope had two separate detectors. The source should have appeared in both as it drifted past. It appeared in only one, in a way nobody has fully explained. The comet theory, like all the others, doesn't quite close the door. And here's the detail that haunts this one most. The telescope is gone. A few years after the signal, it was defunded, dismantled, the land sold. Where the most important 72 seconds in the search once printed onto paper, there is now an open field. So what was it? The honest answer, the one scientists give if you press them, is that we don't know. Maybe something natural, a rare event we've never managed to catch twice. Maybe us somehow, in a way we've failed to reconstruct. Or, for 72 seconds on an August night in 1977, a telescope in an Ohio field pointed at the right patch of sky at the right moment and heard something reach across the galaxy. Something that has not spoken since. If it was a message, we'll probably never know what it said. And if it was a greeting, then somewhere out toward the center of the galaxy, someone said hello exactly once, and we were the only ones listening. Some questions were never meant to be answered. This one goes back on the shelf. Tell me what you think it was, natural or not. And the next file is already open. The Kola Super Deep Borehole, the deepest hole we ever dug, and the sound they say came out of it. Watch with the lights on.